Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Vayeitze. In Perek Tes, Pasuk Chav Hey, we have a pasuk that after Leah pretended to be Rachel and married Yaakov, in the morning he recognized V'hinei Baboker V'hinei Hi Leah. Perek Tes, Pasuk Chav Hey. The Das Zekanim says that Yaakov then accused Leah and called her Bas Ramai Isa. You are the daughter of a deceiver. You are a deceiver yourself. I called Rachel and you answered as if you were Rachel. So she had a winning response to this argument, and that was, I learned it from you. I learned Zeh from you. That I learned that when I saw you tell your father, he called out Esav, and you pretended to be your brother also. So I learned this lesson from you. And as a result, it says, Mitoch advarim hiskil Yaakov lesnosa. Yaakov began to hate her because it says, Vayar Hashem ki sanua Leah. But this is something pretty incredible. We're talking about two tzaddikim, a tzaddik and a tzaddikes, and they're having this argument, oh, you're a liar, you're a thief. And this is the battle they're having. And as a result, Yaakov, the great tzaddik, began to hate Leah. There's something beyond here. So Rabbi Yosef Suratskin in Sefer Meged Yosef, he's the son of Rabbi Yosef Suratskin, the grandson. He explains that there's something behind it. What Leah's response to Yaakov is that you deceived your father because you had an important goal to get the brachos of Yitzchak, so that you would be the head of the of the Bnei Yisrael, of the Shvatim. I also had the same high goal. I also wanted to build Klal Yisrael, and I wanted to be in your portion and not in the portion of Esav. And so, she says, Mimcha limadati zeh haramus. So he explains that I learned b'shvil zeh, because of this building of Klal Yisrael. Therefore, it is allowed to do this, that you can deceive in order for this worthy purpose. And one of the things you can say is that it's because before Matan Torah there was a different standard as we were developing. Before there was a klal, before there was a certain rule of law, but that's a separate shir. You can listen to Rabbi Ephraim Meth December 7th in the morning. And Rashi says that even Yitzchak didn't like the way you deceived him, but Vayar Hashem kisnua. So we see that firstly she learned from Yashiwan because she said, I learned from you when it's appropriate to deceive, and therefore he had no response. And as far as the part that she was hated, how could Yaakov the tzaddik hate her? So the pasuk of Vayar Hashem kisnua Leah is talking about that, according to the Gemara in Baba Basra, Daf Kuf Chav Gimel, that Hashem saw that she hated the actions of Esav so much that she had to get away from him. She had to join Yaakov. So the snua there is what she hated about Esav. And as she discussed this with Yaakov, her need to build Klal Yisrael, her need to basically get away from Esav, that is why what he was recognizing, not that he hated her, but he saw how much her hatred of this topic and she needed to be married to him. Going back to the beginning of the parsha of Vayeitze, Perchav Ches, Pasuk Yud Aleph, so it discusses Vayeitze Yaakov Vayelech Harana. Rashi brings down that that by his leaving, that when the tzaddik leaves, it's noticeable in the city. And the question is, well, it's not the first time that a tzaddik has left. Avram had left, Yitzchak had left. Yaakov was not the first of the avos to leave. Why was it only now that Rashi gives this lesson? So one explanation is, this is the first time that there's someone else behind who's still there. When Yaakov left, Yitzchak was still around, so you'd think that maybe you wouldn't notice the difference. But even going from that 2 to 1, tzaddik still made an impact. Versus we know it when Avram, if he leaves Canaan, that's going to make an impact. Or Yitzchak, if he leaves, it's going to make an impact. Another answer, and this is from the Meged Yosef, is that it's dafka because Yaakov was the Yosef Ohalem. He was inside. People didn't see him going around. Avram, he was hosting people. Yitzchak was out there also following his father's way and digging wells. People knew who they were out and about. you can understand why it makes an impression when they would leave. But when someone who's just inside the tent and just being a righteous person, they would not be, people wouldn't feel the impact. So that's telling us, no, they would feel the impact. And it's a lesson for us also that, the way we act, even if we're not an Avram or Yitzchak, that when we do the right thing, people do notice, and it has an impact, and therefore we should make sure to act properly. So thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.